I was 16 years old when I lost my father to MS, and my younger brother was 13. And I just remember us all just gathered around his bed, just kind of knowing that it was probably the last time we would see him. Well, it's tough because one day, I remember in the earlier parts of my dad having MS, one day he would have no symptoms and be totally fine. And then the next day, it was just he couldn't walk and he, just needed to be in bed, and the weather affected everything. So it is tough. So I think that hopefully when people learn a little bit more about this disease, they can be a little more understanding about what that person is going through in their life.
The first time I ever heard about MS, I remember I was sometime between the age of 10 and 13, because that was the first time I found out my mom had it. She'd had it since I was a little kid, but she never told us, which I understand. I think when you are a child, we always imagine our parents as being invincible, right? They're our superheroes. They protect us from the world, and nothing's ever going to happen to them. So when I found out my mom had MS, I was confused. I didn't know what it was. And even to this day, we don't know what causes it, right? So there's still so much mystery surrounding it, which I feel like that's why raising money for research is so important with this disease, because there's still so many questions about it.
I was always close with my mom. I don't have to say I'm a mama's boy or anything, but she made me into the man I am today, so I owe my life to her. Well, as I grew up, slowly but surely, she started losing motor functions, started getting weaker, and even, I guess, her morale was going down slowly too, with her body. So it started to affect us more and more to see her abilities not be what they used to be.
My name is Jess Moskaluk, and I'm a singer-songwriter from Langenburg, Saskatchewan. I don't even remember the first time I've heard of MS. It was in my life. It's been in my life and a part of my life for so long. I kind of just remember my dad having a lot of doctor's appointments all of a sudden one time when I was probably like 7 maybe. I don't even remember. And it just kind of escalated from there. And it was always kind of implied that he had it. I don't think there was ever a conversation where we sat down and said, look kids, your dad has multiple sclerosis. It was just kind of something we knew.
If you could tell your 7-year-old self something about your dad having MS, what would you tell yourself? Sorry.
I think I would just tell myself to just hang out with him more and just spend more time with him. As a child, I didn't know anything about MS. I just knew that my dad would get really frustrated and he couldn't write checks, and he suddenly wasn't as active as he had been in the past, and he retired really early. I actually don't know how old he was, but it was really early, and I remember actually dealing with a little bit of ridicule from kids because I was so young that they didn't understand why my dad was in a wheelchair, and they didn't understand why he had a cane, and so I actually got made fun of, which is terrible. But once we all got a little older, because I'm from a small town, so once we all got a little older and kids realized what was going on, they all kind of were really, really supportive. I started doing fundraisers for multiple sclerosis when I was 14 or 15, and I think that that'll just always be a portion of my life that I'm really dedicated to. And it's so important because the fight with MS didn't just end just because my father's fight ended, because there are so many other people that I know personally or that I don't that are going through it, and they need some help too. So.
My name, Jameson Drummond. I'm one of the owner-operators of Wow Factor Media. I look after installations and manufacturing services. How did it affect me as a child? At first it didn't, because I didn't really know what it was all about. And my mom was, for the most part, fine when she first got diagnosed. it's kind of weird. I used to have a paper route as a kid that she used to help me out on, and about halfway through the paper route, her foot used to thump because it was like losing strength, I guess you could say, and so we used to joke around and call her Thumper. Not really, you know, being young and not understanding what MS was all about or even what it was doing to her, but it didn't really affect me much until, I guess, high school.
Oh. I see Daddy.
Okay, can you go give Uncle your toast? Spirits are up. She actually has spent the last 3 or 4 months in the hospital in Edmonton, which she had probably her lowest of her lows and then the highest of her highs. Learning a lot. She's going to be coming home this Sunday for the first time in those 4 months, and I'm excited for that. She's learned a lot, I guess you could say, about her disease and herself, and learned a lot about hope. So it was kind of a good experience mixed into a bad one. But can you say I love you, Nana? That's my mom.
Love, Nana.
Do you love Nana?
Love, Nana.
For my mom especially, like my nephew and my son, for her to see them lights her day up like anything else has ever lighted her day up in her life. And I think the longer she can be around to experience his life, I think the better. So the more money we can raise, you know, the more research is done and the more possibilities of it getting a cure, or at least tools to fight the battle with MS.
My name is Megan Nash, and I'm a singer-songwriter based out of Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. When I found out my mom had MS, I was confused. I didn't know what it was. And even to this day, we don't know what causes it, right? So there's still so much mystery surrounding it, which I feel like that's why raising money for research is so important with this disease. Because there's still so many questions about it. If I could go back in time and tell my, my scared 12-year-old self that just found out that my mom has MS, I'd probably tell myself to relax a little bit, because my mom has a pretty remarkable story. And I would tell myself everything will be okay. Because my mom's MS is in remission and she's living with it. And my mom isn't wheelchair bound like so many people that have MS are. It's such a strange disease, it really is. When I was first learning about MS, I was so afraid because I thought, oh my gosh, is my mom going to wake up blind tomorrow? Because that can happen, and that does happen to people all the time. So that was a huge concern of mine. What's going to happen? Is mom going to be in a wheelchair next month? Because it can happen, things like that, it does happen, and it's really scary. I just remember telling the kids on the school bus that you had MS, and I was so freaked out. Because no one knew what it was. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to explain to them what little I knew about it. But it's what the extreme symptoms is what you focus on right away, right? Like you always think about the worst. So I remember telling the kids yeah, my mom could be blind tomorrow, because that's what it felt like to me. Like I just was really concerned that the worst thing would happen. Mm-hmm. And for you to be in a wheelchair on a farm, that would have been impossible. Like that would have. Our whole lives would have been changed if it had gotten worse.
Oh, don't kid yourself. Those things were in my mind too all the time. So but you just can't dwell on it.
Yeah.
Simple as that. The way I explained MS to Megan and Jenna and to just a normal Joe on the street would be MS, there's all these electrical impulses going through your brain, your nervous system. So, okay, I look at it as an extension cord, okay? And as long as that extension cord is insulated, with the rubber and everything just goes great. But all of a sudden, something is attacking it. And all of a sudden, the wires are exposed. There's your onset of MS. Your wires are exposed. Things start going weird. For me, it was a numbness and tingling all down the right side of my body. Something wasn't right. Okay, so it can keep going and attacking, and then it can switch and it can attack another part of that extension cord. Now you got 2 spots that are exposed. But the thing about MS, which is really unpredictable, is all of a sudden they can heal up again. And that spot's healed. And then it can go to a different spot, and then it can go to a different spot, and it can all heal again, but sometimes it severs. And then that's when it gets worse. And there's damage that can't be repaired. And to me, that's what MS is. It's an extension cord.
The competition we just won at Wow Factor Media was amazing in so many ways. Just, I guess, one being the thrill of kind of campaigning and really pushing for people to vote for you. Second, like the support that everyone gave us from Moose Jaw, from Saskatchewan, and even the outer provinces where we have friends and family. It was just, well, it was amazing. And after we won, we really wanted to do something to give back to all the people that got on our backs and supported us. And one thing that Joel and I have always talked about is some sort of charity function, charity concert, and it's kind of been like a dream of ours, and we have friends that share the same dreams. And one thing that obviously touches my heart is MS, and I believe MS was the proper thing to do for our first charity function.
So it's kind of just a perfect fit then with Jess and Megan?
Oh,
For
perfect.
MS?
Yeah, perfect fit, absolutely. With Jess and Megan, two unbelievable artists who really bring life to the party and who also share the same passionate beliefs as trying to end MS like I do, then really couldn't have been more of a perfect fit.
The first time I met Jess, I believe it was the 620 CKRM talent contest. I think, because we've done a few together. I know she also won the GX94 contest. And so I ran into her through that one, through all these singing competitions. And so I was around 17 there. And so I knew my mom. By that time, I knew my mom had MS, and I also knew that her father passed away from MS. So we had talked about doing some fundraising together, and it's never really come together until now, so I'm really excited about that. Jess is a very talented girl. She's got a lot of passion behind her music, and especially when it's connected to a cause that's so close to her heart. I'm just really looking forward to working with her on this event.
I think it'll be the first time that Megan and I will actually be sharing the stage without actually competing against each other, and it's actually completely the opposite because we're completely working together for the same cause. And you know, our hearts are both completely 100% into it, so hopefully people can be really supportive of that. I'm just really looking forward to it.
On October 26th, I'm going to be performing with a full band, which I'm really excited about. It's going to happen up at the Silo, and it's, of course, there's that serious undertone of we're trying to raise money for a very serious cause, but I know that night we will be celebrating people like my mom who have the illness and they're able to live still because of the research that has been done so far. And we're just going to have a great time, raise money. Can I say party? Can I say that? Oh, it's going to be a great party.